Hey everybody, welcome to Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Patrick Claybon back here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland. We enjoyed last week, except for the fact that Greg Rosenthal has almost put enough distance to win the regular season picks championship. Congratulations, Greg.
I thought this was the part where you get on me for picking the Panthers last week.
No.
I don't like this beginning part where we talk about my good record. Can we put it up at least? It just makes me even more unlikable.
Okay, well,
than I
instead of
already am.
a picture of your actual face, we'll go to a picture that you love so much. With you rocking the crown, 161 and 95.
It's good.
Yikes.
Very good. Congratulations.
I've noticed Cynthia hasn't been as warm and friendly to me around the office.
Exactly.
Normal. She's
Yeah, you know, I feel like I'm like, well, we'll see what happens in the playoffs, much like you did
Okay.
last year.
Okay.
All right.
It's different records.
It's all cumulative. Let's get to the action. Bills Dolphins, the game of the week. The teams met back in week 4 forever ago. Y'all remember that? Josh Allen went superhero mode, threw 4 touchdowns. He ran one in. Buffalo all over the Fins, 48-20. And we get the rematch coming up Sunday night. The stakes are high. The winner of Bills Dolphins not only wins the AFC East, but they get the 2 seed overall in the AFC. Also a scenario where the Bills, if they lose, they can miss the playoffs entirely.
Insane.
What's going to happen, Cynthia?
I think this is going to be a close game, but I think the Bills managed to pull it off. I like how everyone's like in South Beach. They're not actually in South Beach. They're a little bit further north than that, Davie, but we're good. Who cares? 25-24. And I want to talk about Josh Allen and his O-line. There's a couple of things that I want to point out because Josh Allen isn't necessarily the easiest quarterback to block for. He holds on to the ball longer than most, and he's always the threat to scramble. They don't often know necessarily what he's going to do if they're under pressure. But this team, 31.1, that's his season rate for being under pressure. That's the 8th lowest. And by the way, his sack rate, 3.5, is the lowest. So lots of credit to Deion Dawkins as left tackle, their Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. Really interesting stuff here. And by the way, they also have a 47.3 run success rate. That rush rate, that's a really big deal. That is #1 in the NFL. That's better than the Niners. That's better than the Ravens. That's better than the Eagles. It's better than the Rams.
Wow.
Better than everyone.
Those are good teams.
I was going to name all 31 teams, but didn't know if we had enough time for that, you know?
I love it when I'm on the same side as the model here. I have the Bills winning this game, too. It's a little further in terms of the margin, 27-23, and it's because of the defense in Buffalo. Josh Allen, the offense, and their ups and their downs get so much attention that I think we've lost one of the best coaching jobs by Sean McDermott on the defensive side in a long time. Ed Oliver there has stepped up as their premier defensive tackle. But in the secondary, where they've had those injuries, they've really seen Rasul Douglas, this pickup, step up. Christian Bevenford, step up. They've made a decision to bench Von Miller entirely. I think that's helping them out. And then their linebackers.
Daquan's back, too.
Daquan Jones is back.
Yeah.
And then their linebacker position. When they last played the Bills, they had Matt Milano. Now they've had Bernard and Terrell Dodson step up. And since week 13, they are 5th in EPA per play allowed. I think it's the defense that gets them over the line. It's so clear. You win, you make the playoffs. It's much more clear than our producers telling me, oh, does the picks competition continue past this week? And they're like, well, we'll see how this week goes. I mean, that makes no sense.
Well, I mean, ultimately.
Last year you said it's a different one in
2
the
years
playoffs
ago, but
because I had one going away and you couldn't get back.
That was 2
Now
years
this
ago.
year we changed the
Depends
rules.
if I'm winning.
Yeah, we're
Right, got it.
gonna
Okay,
nail
I see.
something down before the playoffs start, but we're unanimous here. I've got the Buffalo Bills winning this one as well, 28-26. Of course, injuries a huge factor for Miami. We're going to hope Jalen Waddle plays in this game. No more Bradley Chubb for the rest of this year and maybe a lot of next year. But a huge factor in this game last week for the Dolphins was Duke Riley matched up with Justice Hill. It did not go well. It was the Justice Hill game. He doesn't have to play a dangerous running quarterback with a gifted pass-catching running back. No, it's going to be James Cook, who caught one pass in the first matchup, but that pass was for 48 yards. I think he's going to get a few more targets Sunday, and the Bills win. Meme away, Fins. We do still think the Dolphins are good.
Yes.
Dolphins fans, I vote you most likely to meme us. So
Most likely to
Let's
meme
try
us
it.
100%.
But that's why we do it. Because we want to be memed. So we win no matter what. Time for more or less. Let's talk about some player props for Bills, Dolphins. Greg, more or less than 283.5 total yards for Josh Allen.
it's going to be more. It's going to be way more. It's either going to be way more or way less because it's either going to be a disaster. Don't you agree? I mean,
Yes.
he was a bit of a
It was funny
mess
the way
last
it
week.
says.
It's like it's either great or it's awful. And I don't know what to think about this Dolphins defense, who had played so well, but last week really collapsed. And Patrick mentioned how Bradley Chubb is out. They're also without Xavier Howard, their great cornerback. And so in a big-time game, I do trust Josh Allen. He's been in so many of these over the last few years. He gets it done.
Well, if he does turn the ball over a lot, maybe that's more yards for him. Cynthia, will Tua Tagovailoa throw for more or less than 1.5 touchdowns?
We're going for more here. Tyreek Hill, see that guy running into the end zone? I know he was held in check last time they matched up. However, this is a guy who's gotten the most space to catch those downfield passes. It's not like they are infallible in that secondary. I still think that Tyreek Hill, really good, as it turns out.
Hey, you know what, Cynthia? I also agree Tyreek Hill's very good. That's why I think he will have over 91 receiving yards. Earlier in this year, this would not even be a question, but Tyreek dealing with that ankle injury for the past few weeks, I still think, 50% of Tyreek Hill still gets pretty close to 100 receiving yards, so I got more there. Let's go over to the NFC now, though.
Let's do it.
Everybody's been talking about the wild endings to last week's Cowboys-Lions game. I'm very sorry, Cynthia. But let's not forget about CeeDee Lamb's historic performance.
Back to throw. They blitz him from the safety spot, and Prescott escapes that. Runs to his right, throws on the run to the middle of the field. Lamb at the 50. No one will get anywhere near him. Lamb could crawl in if he wanted to. CeeDee Lamb, 92 yards from Dak Prescott for the Dallas touchdown.
Time for the drive to excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz. The game would have been even better if the side of the end zone wasn't lava. Cowboys and Commanders. Dallas controls their playoff destiny. With a win, they claim the NFC East throne and the 2 seed in the NFC. Do all of those things happen, though?
Of course they happen, Patrick. They're playing the Commanders. They haven't won in 2 months. 41-17 is the score. So that 13.5 points, that's not nearly enough. It's partly because of this Cowboys defense and Micah Parsons. And when I watch Micah Parsons each week, he still has a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year. This is a theme throughout this show. All these defensive players have a chance for one last statement that you remember. When I watch Parsons, I think, I know the sacks don't say it, but he feels like he's the best defensive player in the league, and some other stats do say it. He has the quickest time to pressure in the league. He has the most pressures in the league. He has the best pressure percentage in the league. He's faced the most double teams in the league, and despite those double teams, he has the most pressures through those double teams. And so I love it when the next-gen stats and the research department just supports my eyeball test, which is that this guy actually is the best.
I love it when you talk about the research department. Like, sex up the research department there for us. I love it. I'm with you on this one. I have a closer margin. I have 30-19 in this matchup. I'm curious to see what version of this O-line we get. Heading into the playoffs, we know the Cowboys are going. They brought in La'el Collins this week. You don't often see that happen so late in the game for a team that's really this kind of hopeful in terms of where their playoff inspirations or where they think they're going to go, aspirations are going to lie. So I'm curious to see. We've seen some areas where they've really been hampered by injuries and other times where it hasn't really been such a big issue. So I'm really monitoring this closely. It's not that I think that Washington has the end-all, be-all of pass rush, but the interior, those two guys in the middle, they are really good. They both went to Alabama. They're both really good. You can look them up if you want to. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, whatever, good. But they're going to be an interesting matchup for this O-line.
Yeah, at one point, the defensive line had a lot of talent in total, and then they decided to donate that defensive line to other teams.
Now seem like they're sitting some people this week. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's unanimous here. I've got Dallas as well. I think Dallas gets out in front and actually coasts to a win in this one. So 13.5 feels a little bit rich for me, but I've got a number. If you like correlation and causation,
I do.
I got a number for you.
Okay.
It's the canary in the coal mine, the harbinger. Rico Dowdle, when he carries the ball more than 5 times, Dallas is 5-0 with an average margin of victory of 27 points. Look at the numbers, folks. The numbers are never wrong. You give Rico Dowdle the ball 6 times, it guarantees the Dallas wins. Just having a little fun.
I
here.
love it.
This is tough to find a spot to talk about the Washington Commanders late in 2023. We're going to stay in the NFC East, though. The Eagles have lost 4 of their last 5 games. None more shocking than the disappointment against the Cardinals.
Quick snap, handoff, Connor straight ahead, Geese to the goal line, and across for the go-ahead touchdown. James Conner punches it in, and the Cards take the lead.
Hurts waiting around, lets it develop, Heaves one for the end zone. It is intercepted, and that's the game. The Cardinals come to Philadelphia and knock off the Eagles.
The Eagles and the Giants. Philly can still win the NFC East, but they do need some help. They're going to need to do so without Devontae Smith. Greg, can they do it?
I think they do it, but I think it's difficult because everything's difficult for the Eagles right now. 34-30 is my score, a shootout, and it's Jalen Hurts who ultimately gets them over the finish line to win this game, even without Devontae Smith. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills hearing people talk about the Eagles this week, and it's like, oh, Jalen Hurts, he's not been great against the zero blitz, and like they've had some miscommunication offense. Like, has anyone watched this team? It's entirely the defense. Jalen Hurts has played great the last 2 weeks. He played great last week against Arizona. They're one of the worst, if not the worst defense in the league, despite being a preseason Super Bowl favorite. My pick. Numbers all say it. It's the defense, and Jalen Hurts is playing excellent football. Is he the MVP? No, but he's like a top 7 or 8 quarterback, and they have a top 7 or 8 offense. By basically every metric you look at, it's all on the defense, and my guy Jalen Hurts is going to get it done against this Giants team.
I love that. I also have a win. I have a more winny win than you. 27-21 is my final score. But I do want to give a little love to Tyrod Taylor. Why? Because he's actually making this Giants offense not just like watchable, but fun to watch. Look at this deep pass. Yeet, right in the breadbasket. Also, their last matchup, he was a difference maker. His ability to run, his ability to withstand pressure, because we know this O-line is an area that they'll be looking to improve come draft season. I just feel like in a game where these two franchises, not the best of friends, not BFFs, trying to help each other out. Tyrod Taylor, they're going to have a bunch of fun things to watch him like succeed and do well, and I got to give him some love because it's not easy to come in those circumstances and perform well, and he has.
And it would be tough to have high expectations for Tyrod if he were playing the 2022 Eagles defense. But as Greg mentioned, it has been a struggle. If you go back to those 3 games before they made the switch at defensive coordinator, they gave up 34 points a game to 3 teams that had top 10 offenses in the NFL. And so they bring in Matt Patricia, and they've given up 26 points a game, which is better. But that's against the 17th, 24th, and 30th ranked scoring offenses in the league. And I want to go back and look at their best defensive play from last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Sidney Brown gets this interception, runs it all the way back for a touchdown. This was a bad throw by Kyler. Initially it looked like it was a miscommunication, but Kyler's looking that way to that side of the field the entire way. On the backside, Greg Dortch has opened up the seam for a touchdown because Sidney Brown is running and covering grass. Like there's nobody over there. It's just a tough
idea for me. That was the only stop the Eagles made, literally the entire game.
And it was because of bad offense. Despite all that, we're all on.
Don't let us down, Eagles. You're hurting my feelings.
Coming up, it's win and in for C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Will DeMeco Ryans' squad take care of business Saturday against the Colts? The loser misses the playoffs. Our picks next on Game Day View.
NFL Game Day View is presented by Mercedes-Benz and the completely reimagined GLC. The all-time great SUV just got an all-time upgrade.
We're back on Game Day View, and the AFC South, a division of intrigue. Currently favored the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the Texans and the Colts right there. In fact, let's spin an entire block on the AFC South as
That's a first.
Yeah, to get into some winning moves presented by Intuit TurboTax. The Jags and the Titans first up with a Jacksonville win. They clinched the AFC South for the 2nd straight season. Ryan Tannehill starts for the Titans. Does Ryan Tannehill in the hopes of the folks in Duval?
I don't think he does. You know what? He played well last week, well enough that he could scare the Jaguars, but I like the Jaguars to get to the playoffs, win this game 24-16. I don't like that so much going into the game is based on how healthy the Jaguars passing game is. Christian Kirk is the dude. I think it took him getting hurt for everyone to realize how much he's the dude, but when Trevor Lawrence needs to make a play, he starts with Kirk, and then he goes, I think, to Ingram is his next choice. And Kirk has been out for a handful of weeks. He's been aiming towards this game. He's questionable on the injury report. So is Trevor Lawrence, probably going to play. So is Zay Jones, a little more uncertain. But this is their passing game. And if they're all healthy, they can take advantage of a Titans defense that has given up a lot of big passes, and I think they find a way. But if they're not, like, this feels a little dicey.
It always feels dicey between two division. These AFC South teams, it just feels like sometimes you could roll some dice and figure out what happens there. But I have Jacksonville winning this one 23-19 in this matchup. I do want to talk about an area of positivity for the Titans, and that is their defensive front. If you're looking at what Harold Landry, who went to Boston College, and Danico Autry have been able to do, it's been problematic for opposing quarterbacks. And if I'm looking at, you talk about the health of potentially Trevor Lawrence, et cetera, one of the reasons why this is such a problem is the O-line, there's some issues there. They got some issues there. So I don't know if, let's say, look, we're seeing questionable. It's likely Trevor Lawrence will play. He kind of hated not being able to start last week. He's like a perfect attendance type of guy, and it didn't go. But if there is an upset, it's because these pass rushers are going to be terrorists to him.
You feel like a perfect attendance type of
Definitely
young
not.
lady. No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, not if you're hobbling and people are chasing you. But everybody has that goal. It's like, I'm gonna break the record, and you know, it's hard. It's hard to play every single game in the league where the injury rate is 100%. But speaking of 100%, and I chide all of the time win probability because I'm watching it go up and down. It's math. I don't know the numbers. Josh Allen has added 100% of win probability, over 100% on his sacks this year per Next Gen Stats.
What does this mean?
It means, because we always talk about, this decision led to an increase of win probability. The best decision that the Jags make is having Josh Allen. It's good to sack the other team's quarterback. And on those, he's generated the second most pressures in the NFL. The Titans' offensive line really struggled. Cynthia's making a face because here's the thing. Win probability, but when it confirms my priors,
Yay!
I love it. Josh Allen puts the team on his back and the Jags win. Take the stat. For what you
I want to know why you're making a stinky face.
I got to look into this.
Okay.
Does that mean they would have only won half of as many games as they won this year?
Maybe he got them a whole extra
Maybe. The numbers.
Might not be the last time
I
you
don't
hear
know.
from Josh Allen in the
Might
show.
not.
Get excited.
We'll clarify. Sticking with the AFC South, the Texans still have a shot at the playoffs, and with C.J. Stroud back under center, anything's possible.
First down at the Tennessee 12-yard line. CJ fakes the give, dumps it off, short left. Brevin Jordan across the 5, walks in, touchdown, Houston.
Heck of a drive there, orchestrated by C.J. Stroud.
Texans and Colts, if the Jags lose to the Titans, the winner of this game actually wins the division. What do you see taking place?
I think the Texans are going to the playoffs. They get this win 23-20. Why not? It's going to be more fun to watch C.J. Stroud in the playoffs. So this is a playoff game. It's very exciting. I think it's a game for all these guys to get known. They've played 16 straight weeks at 1 p.m. Eastern, which seems impossible, but I guess they just didn't have any West Coast road trips. C.J. Stroud returned last week after missing a couple games with that concussion, and he was really sharp. He took what the defense gave him against Tennessee. His feet look great. Some of these deep outs to Nico Collins, that is beautiful. He throws that javelin, and it gets exactly where he wants it to be. So when I saw him back to being the old C.J. Stroud, I knew the Texans were going to win this game and give us a more entertaining playoffs. That's what I'm expecting.
I do love this playing game. It feels like the Tuesday before March Madness starts. This is what this is. When I'm looking at this matchup, a 1-point win for the Texans, 23-22, about as close as it can get. And why? Because my math loves the Houston run defense. Not only have they been excellent kind of this whole season, but they've actually gotten better in recent weeks. So lots of different ways we can measure them. You want to do EPA? Okay, fine. I think they're top 5 in pretty much any metric that you want. But when you see everyone playing together, remember they've had some injuries over the past few weeks. This is a really stingy front. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and say it here. My pick for defensive rookie of the year, Will Anderson Jr.
Very nice pick.
And a very nice segue into the reason that I think the Houston Texans win this game. It is unanimous meme away.
Whoa.
And that's because just talk about Will Anderson and what he's been able to do. He's generated more pressures than any other rookie this season. It was true coming into week 15. He missed 15 and 16, and it's still true. Per Next Gen Stats, the Colts' biggest mismatch in this game is deep passing against Houston. I don't think there's going to be time for Gardner Minshew to uncork any deep shots, and I think perhaps pending one upset that I've got to pick later on in this show, which I will tease. I think the 2 AFC South teams are going to be in the dance this postseason. Greg has it as well.
I know who's losing that.
We'll see. Up next, Jordan Love has Packers fans dreaming about the playoffs, but are Justin Fields and the Bears looking to play spoiler like the Lions did last year? Our picks for Bears-Packers next on Game Day.
Want to see where your team ranks? Just tell Siri. Show me the football standings.
Back to throw, Love. Love looks, airs it out, down the middle, got his man, touchdown! Snap to Love. He looks, he throws the middle, he's got Reed cutting left, slips to defender 20, turns corner 15, 10, 5, ends up, touchdown! Yes. Looking to throw, he throws off his back foot, right side of the end zone, touchdown! The Packers lead 29-3.
Oh, the Bears and the Packers. Green Bay clinches a wild card spot with a win, Justin Fields, and the Bears looking to spoil things for the Cheesehead Nation for the second year in a row. What do you see happening, Greg?
I see heartbreak for the Cheeseheads once again. The Bears go in there, get the win. They're going to call it an upset. I know they're 3-point underdogs. I don't care. They're playing better than the Packers right now because defensively, we've talked about that. But offensively, Justin Fields is out here throwing dots in the snow. It doesn't make a difference. These throws are just outrageous. I don't even want to show you the throws where he runs around and does something incredible athletically. He's doing that many times a game too, but the way he's throwing the football, the confidence that he's playing with, and most importantly, the opponent. There's one really good defense in this game, maybe a top 5 defense in the NFL. That's Chicago's. Then there's another defense in this game. That one is coordinated by Joe Barry. I think the Bears get it done in a big way. It's going to feel good going into the offseason.
Yeah, you mentioned that Packers defense. They gave up 24 points to the Giants, 34 points to Tampa Bay, 30 points to the Carolina Panthers. And they had a bounce back, but that was against Jared Hall and the Vikings. And I'm just watching, like after Baker had this game against Joe Barry's defense, it was, oh yeah, Baker's coming back. And then they go the next week, and they're just getting carved up, and it's happening so much. And considering, as Greg mentioned, the way that Justin Fields and the offense are playing, I think Green Bay scores, but the Bears score more. One more point, 24-23, Bears win.
Okay, so here's one where the model and the stomach, they just don't see eye to eye. I have 26-22 in favor of the Green Bay Packers, which I guess would mean that, oh yeah, it's a prime number. Oh yeah, but that Joe Barry gets saved by the Bears. There's some pun there that I'm not going to make, but there's got to be some way that this works out. But I do want to talk about Montez Sweat because I'm going with my gut here, and my gut would say that the Bears win this game. Montez Sweat has been this massive difference maker. There's a lot of people out there that are saying, did Ryan Poles do a good job? Chase Claypool, blah, blah, blah. I direct you to the Montez Sweat trade. This is an epic trade. He did a good job of the GMing in this case and in many other cases. So let's just let the man live in peace. And let's just have the Bears. I think they're going to get the W. But the model doesn't. So the model says those deep crossers are going to be a problem. But, whatever. We can talk about my guy, Ryan Poles, here and how good that Montez.
How about that DJ Moore trade, too? Also, I want standings
Stop
of
with
the model
Claypool,
and then Cynthia's gut.
Yeah,
Cynthia's gut's undefeated.
If we get Cynthia versus the model,
Cynthia versus the
those are
model.
numbers I want to see. And Ryan Poles, who definitely doesn't have any other big decisions to make.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's time for Quick Picks presented by Zillow. The Vikings and the Lions, Detroit, basically locked into the 3 seed. Minnesota has a glimmer, like a little bit of a shot at the playoffs. Do the Lions close that door, Cynthia?
Slam, bam, goodbye. I have the Lions winning this one 26-21, but I do want to show you something I'm very concerned about as a Lions fan. Yeah. Did you see what CeeDee Lamb did to the Lions defense?
I mean, he does
to a lot of
everyone.
But I felt like, why did they keep playing man coverage?
Yeah.
You can't just single team this guy. I guess, whatever, a little safety help at the back. But it did not go well. So I will speak truth to this, and CeeDee Lamb was a big problem for the Lions.
They're stumbling, and literally they're on the ground and stumbling in every one of these.
I understand, and that's a problem. Sure, CJ, GJ will be back to help out.
Yes.
But let's get that under control. I don't know who I want to play, but I'm very worried about this.
Also, it's hilarious. I've never seen that angle of the play. CD threw his hand up the wrong direction because he was covered, and then Dak throws a 92-yard touch. Either way.
The Lions still should have won that game.
The Seahawks and the Cardinals. Seattle needs a win, plus a Packers loss to make the playoffs. The leader of the Geno Smith revolution was Greg Rosenthal. Are you picking Geno here?
Well, I'm picking Geno to score a lot of points, but I'm picking the Arizona Cardinals to win the game. I'm
Woo!
picking against the Seahawks. You think I would play it safe with the lead late? No, I'm picking the Cardinals to win this game, rather. 30-27. It's because of Kyler. How nice is it to watch Kyler Murray in a normal offense? Like, it was like, oh, we got to bring Cliff Kingsbury. He knows this offense
He's a
really
genius.
well. How about it's better to have Kyler playing like the rest of the NFL? Drew Petzing, not a lot of heat, but I really like the way they're coordinating this offense, and he can run, he can pass, he can do it all. So
In Cliff Kingsbury's defense, that bowl game where he started a guy who had never started before, that guy came out lights out. So we're
I hear
a
you.
little credit there.
There we go. Shout out to
Nice.
Cliff Kingsbury. The Rams and the 49ers, both teams resting their starters for this one. So we're getting, finally, Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold.
Like we all wanted.
The 49ers 26-23 in this one. And I also want to take a look back because we were robbed due to mononucleosis back in 2019, a chance for us to see Wentz versus Darnold on the teams that drafted them. But because of mono, it was Carson Wentz going out there against Luke Falk. They won 31-6, and now Sam's got a new team. But I just wanted to look back. The Niners beat the Wentz-led Rams by 3, and we were all on the 49ers. Still to come, the NFC South up for grabs. Still, which team is going to rise up this weekend and lay claim to the throne? Our picks for Bucs, Panthers, and Falcons Saints after this quick break. We're back on Game Day View. Let's shift our focus to the NFC South, which has been difficult to predict all season because these teams still alive. The Bucs currently the favorite to win, according to FanDuel, just ahead of the Saints and the Falcons at plus 660. So it's time for Pizza pregame predictions delivered by Little Caesars. Starting with the Bucs and the Panthers with a win, Tampa can finally claim the NFC South crown. Do they finally take care of business, Cynthia?
They finally do.
Hey!
23-17 in this matchup. I want to talk about the Pro Bowl here for a second. Why? Because Antoine Winfield Jr., you know where he's not going? Orlando on that day. He's played excellent this year. If you look at ball hawk rate, which is something we track with Next Gen Stats, all season long, he's actually played really well. And we are the Buda Baker show of record. I do know that. And he did say maybe Buda shouldn't have made it, whatever. And I don't condone that at all because we love Buda. But he should have been there.
I think he's an all-pro. I think it's Bates and Winfield. So all-pro is just two safeties for both leagues.
I was like, what? Okay, you and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are just huge snubs. So I'm going to give him some love here because obviously he watches the show and he knows that what we say actually matters.
Facts.
You know what else matters?
What's that, Greg?
You know, the Todd Bowles-a-thons. You know, Todd Bowles has been getting this, train going, and he's going to knock out the Panthers with a 26-0 victory in Week 18. And why is it 26-0? Because I picked the Panthers last week, and I'm petty. And they lost 26-0 last week, and they're going to do it again. I'm sitting, living, and dying at the Panthers game. I sat down at my desk at work at 10 a.m., and I said, the Panthers are going to do it today. They're going to smoke C.J. Beathard. And it was some of the worst football I've seen. Offensively, defensively, it was depressing, and it's a bad situation. Everything is going poorly for Carolina. This offseason can't come soon enough, and they're going up against a team that has absolutely everything to play for. And once I saw Baker Mayfield is starting, Todd Bowles announced that he's going to be fine. He had that rib injury. I knew it was going to be 26-0.
Well, okay, I'm not going to give you 26-0, but I do agree the Buccaneers win this game. But I got good news for the Carolina Panthers and Panthers fans. You don't actually have the least efficient passing offense in the league. That belongs in Florham Park, New Jersey. That's the New York Jets. But we can talk about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense and the way that they've played down the stretch. The numbers haven't necessarily been great, but they go into this game against the Panthers offense that is struggling. And I'll propagandize Antoine Winfield Jr. as well, because if he gets a sack and a half, he's leading the team in sacks at the safety spot. What's going on, Pro Bowl voters? Clearly, maybe you need to watch more games.
Worse fumbles, interceptions.
He's all over the field. I think he makes plays, as well as guys like Yaya Diaby and Vita Vea making huge plays
Love Yaya.
against the Carolina Panthers. Let's move over to the Saints. Derek Carr showed up big time last week to keep the dream of the playoffs alive in New Orleans.
Carr takes the snap, middle of the pocket, throws, caught,
far side, touchdown. Jawan Johnson. And that's what you want to do. Take the ball, drive it right down their throats. Carr throws it towards the end zone looking for Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill makes the catch on the near side. And that is a touchdown for Taysom Hill.
I love that Taysom Hill touchdown call. It can't get any bigger fan heat-wise than Falcons Saints to determine a spot in the playoffs, although some Saints fans probably not necessarily interested in this team winning. But, Greg, how do you see this going?
I think the Saints are going to close strong. They win 27-23. Who knows what happens in Atlanta if that happens. And if you've been tracking my results here, I had the Seahawks lose, right? I had the Packers lose.
Oh.
This would send the Saints to the playoffs as a wild card. We got two NFC South teams in the playoffs. Get crazy, people. Derek Carr's playing better. He's been playing his best football over the last month. I would say 3 of his best 4 games as a Saint have been over the last month. There was that game against the Rams, which wasn't totally on him either. He's just been steady. And going into this season, Saints fans hated it. I said, is this an upgrade from Andy Dalton? Derek Carr. Because Andy Dalton, if you look at all the numbers, like PFF had him as the 7th best quarterback in the league last year. I don't think it was an upgrade for most of this season, but this last month he's been making much better decisions. They're healthier. The offensive line is playing well, which is important in this matchup because Atlanta doesn't have much of a passer. I think the Saints get to the playoffs.
I like that. I don't have that because of where I have the Green Bay Packers finishing, but I do have the Saints winning this one 22-21. Interesting enough, I know that we're probably all in the Saints is my guess, so I just wanted to talk about Bijan Robinson because he's had a better season than his numbers, or at least fantasy numbers, might suggest. In this last matchup in particular, they found an area of weakness, meaning especially using him not just in the run game, but also in the pass-catching game. In fact, that was only the second deep touchdown, so 20-plus air yard touchdown to a running back this season. The other was to Saquon Barkley, so that kind of shows you he does have the stuff. So whatever happens this year, okay. But next year, moving forward, Bijan will be a force. He's excellent, even if Texas didn't win and go to the national championship game. Just saying.
It was a nice trip down memory lane to see the Falcons win that game over the Saints in those Bijan highlights. Desmond Ridder was the starting quarterback then. If he was this time, I might be interested in picking because I think the Steelers, I think the ceiling is a little bit higher with Desmond Ridder at quarterback. I've got the Saints winning here as well, 21-20. Because I know that Derek Carr and the Saints love taking shots down the field, especially to now Pro Bowler Rashid Shaheed.
There we go.
30% of Shaheed's targets this year travel 20 or more air yards down the field. Nobody in football has a higher percentage. One might be all it takes in this one because the Saints' defense has been playing better as well. We're all on the New Orleans Saints, and I, too, have a couple of teams from the South making the playoffs. Me and Greg on the same page there. Coming up here, Mason Rudolph has the Steelers on the verge of the playoffs as well. Can the black and yellow go into Baltimore Saturday and leave with a win? Our picks for the Steelers and Ravens right after this break.
Lamar wants to throw. Far side. He's got Hill. He's got a touchdown. Good time coming deep. Looking for Flowers. He's got him open at the Miami 30. Slipped out of a tackle. Touchdown Ravens. Lamar drops the throw. Blitz pressure coming. Lamar's pass is caught. One hand by Isaiah Likely. Leap for the pylon. Touchdown Ravens.
You got the MVP chance, and rightfully so.
The Ravens took care of business last week, clinched the #1 seed in the AFC, and now they play host to the Steelers. Lamar will be resting, so Tyler Huntley, 2022 Pro Bowler, gets the start. Pittsburgh needs a win to stay in the playoff hunt. Do they do it against some backups, Greg?
I think the Steelers do get it done 27-20. Now, in the past, 4 years ago, the Ravens actually won in this spot with their backups against the Steelers. Very similar, and yet I think the Steelers team is different because their quarterback is better now. Is Mason Rudolph better than like an old Ben Roethlisberger? He's definitely better than Kenny Pickett. He's definitely better than Mitchell Trubisky. I know it's only a 2-week sample size, but they're the 3rd best offense in the league according to EPA the last 2 weeks, and we're seeing the big plays, and he's allowing the best part of their team, wide receivers and their tight end Freiermuth, to show who they are, especially George Pickens. But I also think of some third downs, plays like that where he's getting through his reads really quickly. There was a throw to Deontay Johnson early last week where he got to that third read. Deontay Johnson's always open. Throw it to Deontay Johnson.
It seems smart enough. I just have a 1-point win for Pittsburgh in this matchup, 21-20. I agree with you. The Ravens could easily win this one. But I want to talk about someone who likely won't be in Baltimore next year. You know who that is? Mike Macdonald. Not the singer, their defensive coordinator. Why? Because he's awesome. This team is ridiculous. His coordinating job absolutely knocked it out of the park. The way that they build it through the spine of their defense, the safety play. Like Geno Stone, do you know how many other teams didn't want Geno Stone? 31. And you know what? This guy is just picking off opposing quarterbacks like it's his job, because it is actually his job. But Mike Macdonald, what he's been able to do since coming from the University of Michigan with this Ravens team, I hope that, next week is Coach Change Week. We're going to call it that. I'll rebrand it, right? Coach Change Week. He better get his frequent flyer miles ready, because he's going to get a lot. He's going to get a lot of interviews, and it'll be interesting to see where he ends up next season.
Yeah, you can get
a lot of
Mike
Michigan love.
Or you could get Ben Johnson. That's
Stay away from Ben Johnson. Stay away from him.
Thought I would trigger that there. Look, Cynthia and Greg both think the Baltimore Ravens can win this game. A Pittsburgh Steelers fan tweeted a meme alert at me last week and said, pick against the Steelers again. Sure, I'll do it. I think Tyler Huntley and the Baltimore Ravens get a win, mainly because of what Cynthia was just talking about with Mike Macdonald and the defense. Yeah, the dogs are barking. I will take the stray bond here, especially we talked about J.D. Clowney last week. Let's talk about Justin Madubuike and the season that he has had on the interior defensive line. He's got the 4th most pressures in the league from the IDL position. You go back earlier in his career, it's like, Madubuike is going to be in as a run stopper. He's not necessarily going to make plays in the passing game. He's done it consistently all season long. Yeah, they ran all over the Seahawks. This is not the Seahawks defense. They had the Seahawks in a conflict, making the pass game a little bit better. The Bengals lost track of George Pickens, which you cannot do. And so I think believing in Baltimore here makes a little bit more sense than some folks might believe. Let's go to the Broncos and the Raiders as we get into some quick picks. Jarrett Stidham against his former team, a revenge game. Does he get vengeance, Cynthia?
No. Las Vegas wins this one, 21-19 in the least vengeful revenge. No. But look, this is an interesting matchup because Davante Adams, who has had a weird season. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
This guy's been open. He's really done a very good job. Last week especially, he was very good, and they almost won because of how well he's been playing. I also wanted to point out that guys like him are going to be the reason why either Antonio Pierce will get the job or not, meaning those voices that you're hearing coming from that locker room, they're saying, hey, I'm co-signing for this guy. A couple weeks ago, you heard maybe Davante Adams might be going to a green-colored team that's not having a good offense, as someone else pointed out, not me. But look, I think that when you have a guy like Antonio Pierce and a guy like Davante Adams, this could be great.
Let's go to the Jets and the Patriots in Foxborough. New England currently holding the 3rd pick in the upcoming draft. Who wins this AFC East battle of Titans?
I flipped my pick since our meeting. I'm going with my heart here. I actually believe the Patriots win this game 17-16 in what could be Bill Belichick's final game as head coach. What is so funny here?
I have the opposite score. Same score.
There's not going to be a lot of offense. The over-under here is 30.5. But I wanted to just show this man, Bill Belichick. I got to pick him for all the joy he's given to me in my life as a head coach of the Patriots for the last 23 years. And can't you just imagine Foxborough Stadium, Gillette Stadium, everyone cheering at the end of an ugly slugfest and Bill waving to the crowd after doing the thing he does best and loves most in the world, and that's beat the New York Jets and make Woody Johnson regret the day he ever bought that team, and then Bill retired as HC of the NYJ. He gets it done, yes.
Did you just sign it?
Yeah. Bill Belichick. Signed Greg Rosenthal. Chiefs Chargers, Kansas City locked into the 3 seed in the AFC. They're resting Patrick Mahomes. Blaine Gabbert gets the start. Blaine Gabbert gets the win?
Yeah, I guess. This one flipped for me on the news that Keenan Allen and Joey Bosa were not playing. But I do want to talk about how in this game, Keenan Allen would have been the difference maker. So he's had a great season. So has Austin Eckler. These are guys who, when you're looking at the opportunity for the future, they're going to build around these. Number 13, he's great. So we'll just onward and upward, potentially getting not Ben Johnson, but Mike Macdonald.
I like that we refuse to pick the Chargers here, even as 3.5-point favorites.
I had them. I had them until Joey Bosa and Keenan Allen were no longer playing.
I made the Chargers mistake last week. I'm not doing it again. The Browns and the Bengals, Cleveland locked into the 5 seed, so they're going to rest Joe Flacco. Jeff Driscoll gets the start at quarterback, and I think Jeff Driscoll gets the win in this one because I saw the pass game down late against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I saw Jake Browning get sacked 4 times. In the last possession alone, he got sacked 6 times in the game. In fact, that's the second time this season that Jake Browning has taken a sack on more than 15% of his dropbacks in a game. Jim Schwartz gets to just sit back there and fire away in a YOLO game, and I like the Cleveland Browns winners here over Cincinnati. We'll see. When we come back, it's time to write down some goodness. We're dishing out some bold predictions for the final week of the regular season, and you're going to log them with pen, paper, or maybe a pencil. You're watching Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Get your game day started Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern with NFL Game Day Morning.
Love looks, airs it out, got his man, touchdown!
It's the final Sunday of the regular season, and the Packers have a win and in scenario at home against the Bears. Kurt Warner sits down with Jordan Love ahead of the biggest game of his young career. And the AFC East is on the line in prime time when the Bills travel to Miami. Michael Irvin will let you know if Josh Allen's domination of the Dolphins will continue. Plus, we'll let you know if the Eagles have any hope of fixing their issues and saving their season in time for another playoff, well, push. All that and much more, including our end-of-season awards, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Looking forward to that, but I've been looking forward to write this down all day long. Let's get some predictions for Week 18. Greg, you're up first.
I am so excited. Last week I told you the Bills were going to win the division before Week 17. That's still going to happen, by the way. Now I'm going to give you some free awards advice. Will Anderson Jr., Cynthia mentioned him earlier, I think gets the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. There's some reasoning here. They're playing in primetime Saturday night. Not a lot of people have watched the Texans. People like to vote for winners. I think they win that game. I think Anderson gets a couple sacks. Gardner Minshew fumbles the ball. And Will Anderson ends up passing Jalen Carter, who's been slowing down later in the season. I also think Josh Allen of the Jaguars has a much better chance to win Defensive Player of the Year than the odds would say. He's plus 10,000 right now. That's ridiculous. He has 16.5 sacks. If he gets like a 3.5 sack game, let's say, gets to 20, we're dumb as voters. We like big round numbers. And he's going up against a Titans offensive line. They can win their division. I think he's got a shot to do it. The other Josh Allen.
Oh, I love it. I'm looking at Dalton Schultz, and I think he hauls in at least 5 passes, or at least more than 4.5 passes. I'm looking at this opportunity. They need this game, and anyone who needs it feels better when it comes to what the model will forecast. Both teams need it, so I trust my projections for both teams even more. And you also want to look for people who need certain things. So if you need another one, Garrett Wilson. Ooh. He needs like a few more yards, a few more receptions. So look for incentives, baby, like Travis Kelce, 16 more to get 1,000 yards. Stuff like look for incentives. It's like free stuff.
Baker Mayfield gets $1 million if they win this game. So he's going to try to win.
Yeah.
We would all enjoy free stuff. Justin Fields, I think, passes for more than 200 yards against the Green Bay Packers. It was 189 yards in the first matchup between these two teams. A lot of stuff has happened since then. I think the Bears' passing offense has gotten better. Yeah. I think the Packers' passing defense has gotten worse. So I think you should write down this particular fact, which is on your screen, 200 yards over for Justin Fields through the air on Sunday. And a game we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to all the games. Thanks for watching Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. We're going to try to get Greg locked in to whether or not we change for the postseason. But currently,
well, you're trying to take me down is what you're trying to do. It's not going to happen.